Yo, what's good, man? It's Beezy910 and I'm back with another video. Look, man. Hey, I know it's been a while since I've been in these YouTube streets, but look, I'm back. And I got something crazy for you. I was strolling down YouTube trying to figure out what I'm going to react to. And I seen something that said a 10-year-old girl who outsmarted a toxic ex who killed her family. Now, I know damn well what caught my eye was a 10-year-old and a toxic ex. What the hell? But I already know this gotta be like her mama ex or something like that. But I want to see what this is all about. The thumbnail was pretty cool, and I want to see what this is about. So go ahead and watch this, man.
A couple killed along with their 6-year-old daughter, and investigators say all three were killed on the orders of a woman who was a jilted lover.
She was also but survived by playing dead.
29-year-old Alexis Chanel Williams faces several charges, including 3 counts of capital murder.
Whoa, hold on. So it's her daddy ex, maybe? Because it could be female on female. Let's keep watching. Let's see.
A 10-year-old girl watched on as a strange man entered their house and took the life of her parents and her younger sister.
Okay.
One of the bullets hit her tender body and left her wounded, but she didn't give up on her life. She crawled to a corner of the room and lay on the floor, playing dead until the hitman left her alone. She then got up and cared for her 1-year-old brother until help arrived. This brave young lady is none other than Lyric Karhi. Her parents were unalived because of a deranged lover and a sordid tale of an extramarital affair. Her innocent father and younger sister became casualties in this tale of vengeance and jealousy. So, why did the hitman take their lives? Who sent him? And what led the ex to serve them such a tragic fate?
Oh, this Houston
Stay tuned as we answer these questions and give you the details of this sensational case.
But that was just some mock clip, though. It's already crazy, though. Good God.
On June 30th, 2021, the police department received a call to go and check a house in Houston, Texas.
It is Houston.
When they arrived, they saw a gruesome view. A family of 6 lived in the house, and 3 of them were no more. Apart from the 1-year-old son, all the other members were wounded, and 3 of them had already passed away. The attack survivor was a 10-year-old girl. But what had happened? Why was the family lying dead in their apartment? The mother of the girl was 29-year-old Donyavia Lagway. She and her husband, Gregory Karhi, had an on-and-off relationship. They lived in Houston with their 4 children. They had 4 children: 10-year-old Lyric, a 9-year-old boy, 6-year-old Harmony, and another 1-year-old boy. Lagway and Karhi had a tumultuous relationship from the beginning. They would often get along and fight the other times. During those breaks, they would often see other people for escape, and this is where all the problems began. On June 30th, 2021, Lagway and Karhi were in their apartment in the 12R100 block of Fondren.
Dude,
they had
right
3
down
of
the
their
street.
children with them,
That's right down
and
the
the
street from me.
9-year-old boy was away. Everything seemed to be normal at their home. They were chilling in the evening and watching TV, not knowing that a storm was coming to claim their lives.
That's some terrible
At around
clips.
10:30
They got
p.m.,
white people, but
the whole
people
family
black.
was awake and heard a knock
Terrible
on their
clips.
door. Lagway or Karhi didn't have anyone coming over, so they knew something was not right. No one visited them this late. Karhi was holding their 1-year-old baby in his arms, and he went to open the door. He saw a man standing there, and his stance told him that he didn't have good intentions towards them. The man had a gun in his hands, and he was pointing it at Karhi. The intruder pushed past him and walked into the family room. Panic spread as he asked every member to come in front of him. Then he asked everyone to line up on the couch. They did as he told them. They were perhaps hoping that this was a case of robbery and it would be over soon, but they were wrong. The intruder mercilessly fired at their heads one by one. The 1-year-old boy was still unharmed at this point. He grabbed the little boy by his hair and threw him across the room. He didn't check if the baby was alive. He then rummaged through the entire house and turned it upside down. He took whatever he could find and quickly exited the crime scene. But he didn't know that one of his victims was still alive. 10-year-old Lyric had a bullet wound in her arm which didn't take her life, but she was smart, and she lay in her place and acted dead. She knew that was the only way to get out of that situation alive
Smart
and possibly
little girl,
help her
man.
family.
During the shooting, the Karhi's 10-year-old daughter watched while her family was killed.
She didn't move until the intruder left their apartment. After he was gone, she got up, and the first thing she did was lock the front door. Then she rushed to her baby brother to check if he was okay.
This incredible young lady was able to get up despite being gravely wounded, care for her 1-year-old baby brother who was still in the apartment.
She knew that something horrible had happened to the rest of her family. She called her grandmother and told her, "Granny, someone came in and shot me, my mama and my dad and sister, and they're dead." She was in the house about 15 minutes with the bodies until we got here, said Angela Irvin, a family member.
Granny, my mom got shot, my dad got shot, and I'm like, what? I'm like, what happened?
She waited until he left and pretended that she was dead. And then when he left, she locked the door, grabbed her little brother, called her grandmother.
She also managed to show her grandmother everything that happened. Her grandmother was shocked. She informed her other daughter about the incident. They called 911. Help arrived immediately. Police were shocked to see the gruesome scene before them, especially the 6-year-old child's lifeless body. Police started to investigate the case, and that's when the disturbing details began to emerge. However, they had a rough start as they didn't have any identification or suspect description to help them. They also didn't know the motive. As there were no signs of forced entry, they deduced that the attacker was someone Karhi or Langway already knew. Although the house had been turned upside down, nothing was damaged. Police don't think the killer, believed to be in his 20s, forced his way in. The girl said he was wearing a medical mask. They then moved to collect the surveillance footage. They checked all the cameras in the area and placed a $5,000 reward for anyone who could give them information on the incident. At this point, everyone wanted to find the intruder and put him in jail. However, the journey to finding the truth was not going to be easy for the police because they didn't have any evidence. But only a day later, they found a lead which gave them hope for this case.
It's a crazy story.
On July 1st, 2021, the police arrested a man as the prime suspect in the case. His name was Xavier Dominique Davis, but police were struggling to find his motive for the triple homicide because he didn't have any relation with the Karhi family. However, his criminal record was very long, which initially prompted the police to believe that he just wanted to rob the Karhi residence. In 2014, he was convicted of felony aggravated robbery. He was in prison for some time before the incident for armed robbery and had just been released. His records also showed that on June 7, 2021, Davis pulled out a gun on his girlfriend and threatened to take her life. And the reason? He suspected that she was cheating on him, and so he confronted her without any concrete proof. The terrified girl went to the police and complained about Davis. Police were already looking for him when the incident took place, and they didn't take long to arrest him. He was arrested and charged with aggravated assault of a family member for threatening his girlfriend. And on July 2nd, when the police finally established his links to the triple homicide, they slapped the charges of 3 counts of capital murder and aggravated assault with a weapon. But how did the police know that it was him?
Right, this is crazy.
The announcement of the reward worked because they received an anonymous tip telling them that Davis was the one behind the tragic and Karhi family had met. The police went to check Davis's house immediately. They found a gun tucked there that had matching bullets that were found at the crime scene. And now, the police had another question hanging before them. Why did Davis do this? Why did he attack a family he didn't have any ties with? As they continued the investigation, they understood that Davis didn't just choose a random house to rob that day, but the whole incident was premeditated, and the mastermind was someone else. On July 10, 2021, family and friends held a funeral for the deceased members of the Karhi family. Many of their close ones came to attend it, and they remembered them with teary eyes. One of the many attendees was Alexis Chanel Williams.
Apparently, went down that the defendant attended the funeral service of these victims that she helped to kill.
But who was she? Apparently, during one of her breaks with Karhi, Lagway became involved with Williams and had an affair for several months. As their relationship turned...
Larhi, which is the girl, right? Lagway? What do you say? Okay, hold on.
Who was she? Apparently, during one of her breaks with Karhi, Lagway became involved with Williams and had an affair for several months. As their relationship turned toxic, Lagway decided to end it around June 23rd and go back to her husband. But Williams couldn't stand the idea of being dumped. So, as revenge, she began plotting how to get rid of her. She contacted her childhood friend, who happened to be none other than Xavier Davis. When he heard that his beloved friend needed help to get rid of her ex-girlfriend, he agreed to do it instantly.
She was not allegedly the gunman, although she coordinated the entire event, it appears.
According to their plan, Davis would rob the family and could keep anything he could steal from the house. He was also told that he would find several $1,000s in a certain spot at the Karhi residence. But he would also have to take the lives of all members of the family.
Williams conspired with suspected hitman Xavier Davis, promising him several $1,000s in the family's apartment for the murders.
Shockingly, even after knowing that he would have to take innocent lives, Davis decided to help Williams. They picked June 30th to be the day and prepared accordingly. At around 9 p.m., he carjacked a man at gunpoint and stole his Jeep from a few miles away from the Karhi apartment. He then went to Williams' house and stayed there for an hour. After that, he drove the stolen Jeep to the apartment complex where the Karhi family lived. He had his gun on him. He put a mask on before walking out of his vehicle. He reached the entrance and knocked on the door. Karhi opened it, and then he attacked them and took their lives one after another.
Probable cause read in the courtroom today regarding Williams states that a man knocked on the family's apartment, and when the father answered the door, a man demanded money and then proceeded to shoot and kill Gregory Karhi, Danyavia Lagway, and the couple's 6-year-old daughter.
And the most shocking part of the incident? Williams had asked to see how he would do it. So to keep her request, Davis made a video call to her.
Prosecutors say she may have watched the entire thing happen on a FaceTime call.
However, it was unclear whether she saw Davis take their lives or if she called after the deed was done. It was also unclear whether Williams had a chat with any of the family members before Davis attacked them.
When Xavier Davis was inside that apartment, he was on FaceTime with Alexis Williams. That means that she watched either the executions or the immediate aftermath.
He said it's possible Williams even spoke to the victims before they were gunned down. They also said, makes it even more disturbing to think that she didn't want to be there in person, but she certainly wanted to see the actual commission of the offense and the aftermath, Terry said. After finding the cache exactly where Williams had mentioned it would be, Davis exited the apartment complex quickly. He took the Jeep to a remote location and set it on fire to remove all evidence. It took the police almost 8 months of investigation to finally crack the case and find the missing link between the Karhi family and Davis, and that was Williams. Investigators said from the beginning that they believed a second suspect was involved, and they suspected it was Williams after learning about the affair.
Prosecutors say detectives were able to piece together the plot once they were able to crack the passcode to Williams' cell phone.
The two culprits had exchanged several messages related to this hit job. That was all the evidence the police needed to issue an arrest warrant for Williams.
She's charged with 3 counts of capital murder, accused of setting up a plot that left a mother, a father, and a child dead.
They arrived before the judge a couple of times. Their presence was extremely calm as they heard their charges. Prosecutors pointed out the danger Williams carried and why she must be locked away immediately.
If that's the consequence of dating this defendant, nobody in Harris County is safe.
Williams spoke only once during her hearing as the judge updated her on her bail status.
I didn't fully understand what you said.
You have no bond in any of the 3 capital murders.
But she might have one in the future. We may eventually agree to a bond well in the future, but as it stands right now, she is held at no bond for all 3 capital murders and for the aggravated the young girl, Thierry said. Davis was initially allowed a bond for $1 million. When the news came out, authorities faced a lot of backlash. Davis had cold-bloodedly taken the life of an innocent child, and the locals didn't want him roaming the streets looking for his next victim. Lagway and Karhi's relatives had the same response.
Couldn't believe they would give a bond to someone who murdered
what I
two
just
people
said.
and a 6-year-old.
I was just saying that in my head. Why did he even have a bond?
A bond? Seriously?
Right.
You give a person that committed a triple homicide a bond? He don't need a bond. He killed 3 people, and one of them was a 6-year-old child.
That would have been
6 years
$100K,
old.
I think.
He had no mercy for a 6-year-old.
She claimed that despite all his rights, the bond should be revoked.
I know everybody have rights. Animals have rights, and he's an animal, but the bond needs to be rejected.
Although a newspaper article released later
I feel like the bond should be rejected too, because like if the other girl, Williams or whatever, and she didn't have a bond, I know she orchestrated everything, but she didn't have a bond, he shouldn't, because he the one who did the deed. That's crazy, man. But I'm pretty sure ain't nobody paid that shit.
That week claimed that the bond had been revoked. The judge had in fact kept it intact. However, Davis would have to maintain a few protocols to be able to obtain it. He would have to be on a 24-hour house arrest and would have to wear a GPS tracking device that could constantly inform the authorities of his whereabouts and would alert them if he did something unlawful once again. And if Davis ended up taking the bond, he wasn't allowed within 200 feet of the apartment complex where he'd committed the crime. Harris County prosecutor Sean Thierry praised the bravery of the little girl. But they were worried that this incident would leave a deep impact on her tender psyche. He said, 3 people are dead, and that little girl and her other 2 living siblings are orphans.
Not just 3 people, both of her parents and her little sister were executed, and she had to watch it. And not only did she have to watch it, she had to experience it while being herself.
He pointed out how most adults lose their wits in such incidents, but this brave little girl knew exactly what to do to get out of the danger and also keep her baby brother alive.
The bravery and the heroism that she showed that day in her wherewithal to not move, in her wherewithal to just let him, Xavier Davis, get out of the apartment before she began to check on her brother, to check on her little sister, to check on her parents, is amazing.
When it came to charges, Xavier Davis received a fate similar to his best friend.
Now, the 28-year-old Xavier Davis was also arrested as the accused gunman. Now, he's facing identical charges.
The motive was identified as revenge and greed for Williams and Davis, respectively. What we've been able to gather is that Alexis Williams promised him that there were several $1,000s in that apartment, Thierry said. She told him that whatever he was able to get was his. It was simply greed for Xavier Davis. Williams was able to direct Davis to the exact location of the money because she'd been to this apartment countless times. Authorities said, "We believe that ended poorly about a week prior to these murders," he said. "We know that Alexis Williams spent numerous nights and times over there at that apartment prior to a week before." Williams and Davis are awaiting their fate as of 2024.
The little girl probably knew that she was on the phone.
The family
She
of the
probably heard all
deceased
of
went
that.
into a deep shock after
the
losing
money was
so
at
many
and all
members
that.
in the horrific incident. Lagway's mother, Mando, was devastated to lose her child, but she was proud of her granddaughter for her wit and bravery.
I just want everybody to know, my baby, she's a hero. My baby is a hero.
She also expressed absolute disgust for the attacker.
That's a monster. You don't do that.
She decided to take in Lagway's babies and raise them with her other relatives. Although they found a home with their grandmother, they would grow up without their parents. On top of that, Lyric Karhi would have a lifelong trauma of seeing her parents die with her eyes and also surviving the horrible attack. Sean Thierry of the Harris County District Attorney's Office said, "Can you imagine the trauma she is going to have to experience for the rest of her life, simply because 2 people wanted money and revenge?" he asked. Another tragic piece of information unfolded when the Lagway family spoke to the press. Family members said Donyavia had just learned she was pregnant with her 5th child.
Damn.
And to take
They
the
could've
life of a
charged
woman
him
in
with
that
that, too.
state is absolutely monstrous and requires
They could've
severe
charged him with
punishment. Lyric's other aunt was also proud of her bravery.
It's devastating. My little niece is, but she's brave. She's very brave.
Lagway's cousin Ronette said she couldn't believe her cousin had passed when she first heard it. Why? That's what I don't understand, Ronette said. When I got the phone call, I was just in disbelief. And then she told me that they had both passed, and I was saying that couldn't be true. Another relative recalled the day of the incident and how they tackled the tragedy the moment they heard about it.
After the phone call, we immediately came to be comfort to each other.
And they didn't forget to send a grim message to Davis and Williams.
For the folks who did this, y'all will get y'all justice.
10-year-old Lyric was returned to her
he could've
grandmother
related
after
to the
medical
dude.
treatment. The girl, now 11, is being cared for by her 2 grandmothers and has undergone several surgeries. Neighbors of Carhee and Lagway also expressed their discomfort. "No, this is sad, very sad," said Gloria Johnson, a Houston resident who brought balloons to the crime scene. Alfreda Cookie Franklin, a family friend, sat beside Lagway's mother and the 8-year-old boy during the funeral. She recalled how devastated their son was during the event. He said, "I just want my mom. I want to see my mom. And every time they tried to close the casket," Franklin recalled, "he would just break down and say he wants his mother." The Houston Police Department was also shocked at the passing of 3 family members of the same family, and their hearts broke for the innocent 6-year-old child who didn't even know what was coming for her. "This was a very, very tragic scene," said Assistant Chief Patricia Cantu with HPD. "We're sending out prayers to the family. This was not only a difficult scene for us, but for the family as well." The internet was also outraged when they heard about the incident and had many comments. One user paid their condolences to the deceased and praised Little Lyric. "It's unbelievable that people can be that jealous. This is such a sad story. Lyric really is a hero. IREP, family." Another user was angry at how the 1-year-old was handled during the crime. "He had no mercy when he threw the baby against the wall. I don't feel sorry for none of these killers." Another user wished Lyric the absolute best in her life. "Wow, girl, you really are a little hero, and I hope you have the best of everything life can give as you deserve all the good you can get." The neighbors of Carhee and Lagway came together to arrange the funeral. Franklin and a local motorcycle club, the Street Lords, are working on a fundraiser to help the family start a trust fund for the kids. According to their statements, it's not unusual for their neighborhood to take initiatives like this one for the locals in a crisis. "One thing I know about Houstonians, they have big hearts. When things like this happen, they all rise to the occasion," said Harry O. Tretton, president of the Street Lords Motorcycle Club. Tragically, many tried taking advantage of this situation and opened fake fundraisers to steal money from donors. "There's a lot of GoFundMe accounts that people are putting up out there. They are not real," Franklin said. They also took donations in the form of baby products if anyone was interested. Franklin adds, "Anyone who wants to volunteer or donate items like diapers for the baby is welcome. We need all hands on deck." Both Davis and Williams are waiting for their final sentencing as of 2024. Many are hoping that they would be given the death penalty or at least life imprisonment because of their absolute disregard for the value of human life. The 2 kids of Carhee and Lagway are growing up with their relatives. They will always feel the absence of their parents. No matter how many years Williams and Davis spend behind bars, the damage they cause this family will remain irreparable. This case is indeed a wake-up call to many, especially those who choose the path of infidelity in marriage. If the partner you're with is toxic, seek help from the police immediately. Don't take a risk and sit around for them to plot revenge and get back to you. If you think something's not right with them, notify the appropriate authorities to avoid tragic incidents like this one. So, what did you think of this case? Do you think Lagway should have talked about Williams with someone she trusted? Do you think going to the police and placing a complaint would have saved her and her family's lives? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel.
I don't think it would have saved their life. You say get a restraint order? Nah, it wouldn't. That's crazy though, man. Shout out to the little girl, man. Definitely a brave little girl. Lyric, that's crazy. My niece's name was gonna be Lyric too. But man, that is wild. Honestly, I'm at such a loss of words when it comes to this. I had no clue it was gonna be in Houston, let alone right down the street from where I stay now. I moved to Houston in 2021, actually the same year, but I moved in like October. But wow, this is actually my first time hearing about this. I think I seen that picture of the family with the turkey on. I seen that picture somewhere, but I really didn't know what it was all about. But man, this is crazy. Definitely jealousy. The girl Williams definitely was jealous of the family, man, and what the other girl had. She didn't want to lose her. And I mean, love is a crazy thing, but man, you should never let it bring you to something like that. That is crazy. Having her killed, having old boy kill the whole family is just ridiculous. That is crazy. Definitely need to be having a death penalty. That's what I think. I think they need a death penalty, man. It's 2024. They haven't resolved this yet. It's crazy. But I'm definitely gonna look up to see what the outcome of this is. Try to keep up to date with this, and if I find another video on it, if y'all interested in watching it with me, we can watch it together, man. But tell me how y'all feel in the comment section, man. Let me know exactly how y'all feel in the comment section. This is crazy. It don't matter what I say though. I want to know how y'all feel in the comment. This is Brandon, Beezy910.